G'day, I'm back analyzing some pro matches, and this week we're going to be looking at the ONE Pro Invitational between DRX, Zeta, Fnatic, and Detonation. And I thought we'd start with this very interesting game here from DRX versus Zeta on Fracture, where half the agents in the game were actually duelists. DRX ran a triple duelist comp consisting of Neon, Phoenix, Reyna, accompanied by Brim and Breach. And so it's kind of an interesting look at like something that you might see in a ranked lobby. Now, these were just exhibition matches. There was no prize pool. I'm sure the teams were paid to be there, obviously, but they're here to make the games fun. And they might be experimenting with some things here, and they might be using it to experiment with things on the new patch. But I don't expect that we'll see a DRX triple duelist comp in the near future. Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe this is actually something that they wanted to test, but it's still a great game to analyze, and you can really see how, you know, building your team comp really affects the options that you have in the game. So let's get into it. Okay, so DRX started on attack and it didn't go super well for them. They end up 8-4. We're going to look at the final round of the half because I think the more interesting analysis comes to DRX's defensive sides, and there's more options for them on Okay, so the first round we're going to look at is round 12, which is the end of the attacking half. And I think it really does a good job of summarizing the whole attacking half for DRX. They didn't have a lot of success, and I think it's just due to the way that the comp's built. They sort of have one mode, and Zeta really got on top of predicting what that really looked like. And it might not be what your first thought was, but the potential behind this comp, if DRX did want to pursue it, let's say, or someone wanted to make this triple duelist comp work, lies in the defensive options that you get. I would probably make some tweaks to the actual agents in this comp. I'd probably leave Brim and Breach, but I would play around with the duelist combination between the three of them. I think there's a better combination that you can get. And I probably wouldn't get rid of the Reyna first. And that's a hint to a video that I have upcoming for the start of next year. I have a bit of a... For those who know me, I think that video will surprise you quite a lot. All right, so enough lollygagging. Let's get into this first round. So we're going to get this W key gaming from DRX. We get the early breach flash, and that gets them lobby control, and they're going to dump util here. And breach ultimate, neon wall comes out, and then look at this brimstone ultimate is going to separate neon from the rest of the team. We have an early first contact duel here between Foxy and Laz. And then look at this. The two duelists here for Zeta are already out of main and flanking spawn. Like, they just know that DRX is all going to be in this side of the map, and there's no trip. If they want to stop this flank, they're going to have to dedicate a player to it. So they're going to force the pressure, and they're going to, like, instead of DRX crunching in this way, they're going to sort of come in and crunch, and with this really fast flank. And this is only because the way that DRX has been playing this whole first half, this allows them, they even like double satchel and neon slide through here. Laz wins the first duel against Foxy after a little bit of a whiff. Ep actually dies to Mako because he's got the op, and they actually have to smoke this off right here. Look at this smoke. And the other thing that's happening, it's all happening, there's so much happening on the map all at once, is that Buzz is pushed through here. This is something that DRX did quite a lot, and they're ready here for the trade. Buzz gets a little bit over aggressive and goes back through the smoke. Sugar Zero's there to get a little bit of the late trade in. Op shot comes out, really nice shot from Mako with the op, which is cool to see Mako on the Phoenix. And then we have a mistake here from RB holding this. Angle is fine, but then he re-peaks this fight. Laz actually gets the better of him here. There's no reason that RB needs to take this one-on-one fight here in a 2v3. And the way that these smokes are, they don't know how close we're getting up through here in B main. And so there's this nice little crunch here, and DRX is in a tough position. They've got to try and pick a fight, but they don't know how close the raise is. Laz gets the shot on Stacks. And then Mako here in the 1v2 gets closed out. 10 takes him down. And you can see that how quick Zeta was to react in that round and just flood the site. A little bit of an overextension from DRX. And they go to 8-4 in the half. That's all about to change. Okay, into the second half now. DRX win pistol really convincingly. They win the second round, and now they're on their bonus. Light armor for everyone. 2 rifles, 2 stingers, and a sheriff against pretty much a full buy here for Zeta. And so what we're going to see is this nice early A main control here from DRX. And Zeta actually have this really nice idea. Knowing that DRX, the comp that they have, they're going to be really aggressive on this bonus, right? They're going to try and take an aggressive advantage. And so in this bottom side of the map, they're playing really, really passive. Now, Mako over peaks here a little bit into the chamber and dies to Laz in a really nice shot, who actually has that rifle. And now Laz is able to create some space here. And that prompts the 3 members of DRX on the other side to push out. Knowing that there's been contact here, they're probably coming up main as well. And so they push out here. They do a good util flash out, slide. But look at this setup from Zeta. They've actually got 3 people looking at this angle. Crow's about to swing out as well. And they just decimate them. They get a 3-for-1 trade. And so all of a sudden they start legging at A. They do a quick check behind them from Dep. And then Fox is like, oh, well, I better get to A site because it's very open. And so I think Zeta make a mistake here, knowing that Foxy was last seen here, traded out the early kill from Laz, right? So we have a late check here from 10. He knows that he hasn't really come this way. It'd be a really long way for him to go down A main. He would have to start walking like here to be secret, potentially even earlier. And so he's most likely, the path of least resistance is for him to go through spawn, because he knows that there's probably a player here, and he knows that there's definitely 3 players here. So walking through this is an absolute trap. But the way that Zeta plays this allows Foxy to do something just insane. These are really nice shots here from Foxy, but there's no reason that Dep needs to be holding this angle at all. I would have loved to see him sitting in main, just watching for this cross. 10 doing the same thing, can watch this cross here, and you can have the breach on site playing off contact, you know, occasionally checking your back as well. Dep dies here into the fight. Now Foxy's in a 1v2, and still a huge advantage here for Zeta, right? They've got a really, really strong advantage. They can play off of each other. They can play contact. No, they try and force the fight. The breach stun misses. And this is an incredible shot from Foxy. Let's get a replay of that because I paused right as the flick happened. And so, yeah, this breach stun misses. Foxy hits this really nice shot on 10. He sees Crow there as well. Puts out the Reyna Leah. Doesn't throw the second one. Little fire. And then hits the shot on Crow for the 4K. Just an insane round from Foxy and DRX. But Zeta just didn't have the patience to just force Foxy to walk out and then gun him down as a trio. Foxy able to force 1v1 fights with all 3 of the members, and he gets the clutch. All right, so coming into round 18 now, we have a full buy for both teams, and DRX sort of had 3 main ideas here on defense. They would do this crunch on south side, they would do this crunch on north side, and they would also have this really strong A main control and this A main presence. They're going to leave Foxy's out here to solo anchor B, and because Foxy's on the Reyna, he has the dismiss, and then they just kind of go crazy if you need to, hope for the best, and we're going to gamble this A main control. And because it also means that they can push out of A main with that control as well, right? So we get the early smoke with the stun, and they get RB into this other side of main, and they actually don't think anyone's here. And so RB's actually kind of lucky here to not die to that chamber peak. Zeta looked a little bit lost here. They just went out, chamber went out solo, which is kind of fine, but there was no support or flash or stun or anything for that peak as he solo pushed through the smoke. And then 10 solo pushed through the smoke here as well. You know, there's another follow-up stun here from RB. And then the way that they're able to just completely blockade this A main, the smoke's, you know, halfway done now. The Phoenix wall comes out, which is perfect timing with the re-aggression of the flash. So that stalls the push again from Zeta. Another molly comes down. So, you know, they're really just, they want this A main control. You can see it, another stun. And they see that Dep's pushed out with the angle of the sun. They see where the stun comes from. So RB is able to start spamming this through the smoke, tags him up a bit. And then Dep, again, we saw it in the last round with what Zeta did, but they used the breach aftershock to just completely separate Dep from the team. This is just a really easy free kill for DRX. And then Stacks lays one on Crow, and now RB just has fun jumping around, jumps through the smoke, and they clean up the rest of them. And they just don't even get, they literally get nowhere. They don't even really get past their spawn barrier in this round, do Zeta. You know, this isn't unique to a triple duelist comp. Reyna on the other side of the map could be anyone. There's points to be made about Reyna, but I'm saving that for that other video. But the way that the Neon and the Phoenix work in tandem with the Breach here is really, really interesting. Obviously with the support of Breach and Brimstone. And Zeta just tried to force their way through, but absolutely had no chance. All right, not jumping far. We're going to jump to round 19, and we're just going to show this north side crunch that DRX have. You can, again, we're using like this double duelist sort of setup to push out with support on both sides. And then the Reyna creates this interesting sort of dynamic where the Reyna is able to push out and be aggressive as well. If this was something like a Killjoy or a more traditional anchor, they're going to be playing much more safely on site with their util and setups and all that kind of thing. And you'll see how it works in their favor in this round. There's not much to really analyze here. We just get a bit of a send it here, great stun, the wall and everything from the other side of site, and then the flash. Trades come out, and we already have line of sight like down this way from the other side of the map, so they just get absolutely crunched. We get a 2-for-2 trade here, but we've got a free kill here already, so they're already down one member. The way that Foxy pushes out here on Laz gets the free kill, and Foxy's intention is to actually come and to support this crunch as well. They want to crunch from 3 angles here. And then RB gets taken out by the Neon ultimate. Stacks plays this nice little off angle, and Stacks is there to pick up a free kill, essentially. So there's that north side crunch. You can see the way that DRX is playing into the strengths of this comp and utilizing the agents in ways that favor them, you know, i.e. the Reyna also pushing out down B main. So coming into round 21, we have a similar setup as round 15, where DRX again trying to take this A main control with RB getting across to the left pocket, Breach stun to support, and the Brim smoke to push them back as well. And then we have Stacks in a really interesting position here. So he's just outside of main, he's kind of on site, and he hears the noise. They're coming down through dish. And I think he didn't trust his instincts, or he tried to play a little bit of hero Valorant, maybe because of it being a show match. But what you can see here is that he starts to come into A main. He goes, all right, we're going to play this really nice A main control. We've got 3 players here. What we've got to do is we've got to maintain control of this while our players rotate over. We can crunch any players here in A main. And then we fight and retake site. And so he comes into A main and he smokes off dish so that they don't have to worry about it. But then he walks back out. And if he had to just come down here to play with RB here, it would have been really strong. Even just protecting himself behind this box. Because what happens here is the Breach ultimate comes out onto site. Oh, sorry, the Breach stun comes out onto site. And he gets caught trying to run back into the smoke as the Raze ult comes out. So now they have sight, and RB's in a really precarious situation where he's completely got his back turned to any push out aggression down through main. So he's actually going to keep walking forward here. And I really like this from RB. This is just... And there you can see the chamber nerf, because this is 5.12. The chamber nerf coming into play. The chamber TP not all the way back into safety, so RB is able to get a double frag here. He's back in time to join this fight as well between Buzz and 10, and so they're able to retake the main space here with the flash and the stun. They actually kill Crow on site. Depp gets 2 here, and then he just gets crunched by Foxy and Mako, and they come in and get the defuse. You can see the importance of controlling like A main, and sort of Sands to an extent as well, is that it splits apart the split attack here from the attacking side from Zeta. Even when Mako rotates through, he doesn't rotate through this part of the spawn and flash himself out. He rotates through to group up here. He comes through to group up with Breach. Now, he does end up pushing in sort of this way with Reyna in the end, but, you know, he could have very easily come this way through main as well. So there you have it. DRX with their triple duelist comp went 9-1 on defense. And I think Fracture is kind of the tailored map for it if you wanted to succeed with a triple duelist comp, especially, you know, at a higher level. The whole sort of idea around Fracture is that the defenders need to be more aggressive and push out and take more space. And that's something that the devs have said directly. That's a sort of design feature of Fracture. So having a more aggressive comp with the extra duelists could be something that we see a lot more of in 2023. Who knows? Maybe we will even see triple duelists in the league matches. But I think we'll definitely at least be seeing some more double duelists, especially with the chamber nerfs as well. Congrats to DRX on the win and getting the triple duelist comp up and running. You know, it was most likely a bit of a meme, but I do think that a triple duelist comp, if you found the right balance of agents and probably on Fracture, it could be something really, really strong, and you just have to refine it and get the plays sorted. I think part of the struggle that DRX had on attack is that the way that the util distribution worked out with these agents meant that some of their abilities were redundant, and you could tell that they hadn't practiced any executes really with this comp. They looked really out of sync, which is really uncommon for DRX. Even on the maps that they're not as strong on, you can see their execute timings and util synergy is one of their biggest strengths as a team, and that just wasn't here today. So 5 duelists in one game. I wonder when the next time will be that we see that again. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content, I'll give you another reminder to subscribe. I'm going to be covering every single match from this event because I thought it was a really cool and interesting event. And it's always nice listening to the Japanese shoutcasters. And not every comp that was played here was super troll. There was definitely some more experimental things from some teams, but Fnatic also just seemed to be running meta comps. And it was nice to see the new Fnatic team all together. It was sort of a first look with the new patch. And yeah, so that's me for today. I will be back tomorrow with another video. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.